Hi, I'm Emily Lakdawalla, and I'm here to talk to you about what has been going on here at the American Geophysical Union meeting here in San Francisco. It's December 3rd, and this is a huge meeting. There are so many scientists here, like 20,000 scientists, which I think is kind of tempting fate because I think most of the world's geoscientists are here in San Francisco, which is a rather geologically active area, and wouldn't it be ironic if the big one happened while all the world's people who could interpret it were here? But hopefully it won't. I'm here primarily to cover what's going on the Curiosity mission. This is the first science meeting that's happened since Curiosity landed, or I should say it's the first meeting where the abstract deadline was after Curiosity landed. So it's really the first opportunity they've had to talk about the science that has come from the mission. Now, the meeting started early this morning at 9 o'clock with a press briefing. And this was one of the weirder press briefings I've attended in a while because it was a briefing where rather than trying to ballyhoo their results, NASA was actually trying to downplay their results because there has been this huge kerfuffle going on the last few weeks about some remarks that the project scientist, John Grotzinger, made to Joe Palca, who's an NPR reporter, about the data that he saw coming back from their Sample Analysis at Mars instrument, or SAM. And he talked about the data being one for the history books, which the entire internet interpreted to mean that NASA had discovered life on Mars. And I think if anybody's been paying attention to Curiosity, you know that they couldn't even discover life on Mars. It's not what the mission is capable of doing, but that said, that's what people were expecting. So they actually had to try to downplay what they've discovered. So the results that we're talking about came from gas chromatograph mass spectroscopy of a small sample of soil from a sand dune called Rock Nest. And what they discovered in the sand dune was that the sand dune is mostly a basaltic composition, which is what you would expect for a Martian sand dune. But they found a couple of unexpected things. One of these was small chlorine compounds, chlorine bonded to carbon. So you have what's called chloromethane, dichloromethane, trichloromethane, and some as yet unknown 4-carbon compound containing chlorine. Now this is really interesting because SAM has been sent to Mars to look for organics, and this could be evidence of organic compounds in Curiosity's soil. However, they can't yet eliminate the possibility that the carbon that's in the soil was actually brought from Earth. If they can eliminate that possibility, they then still have to eliminate the possibility that it's carbon from meteorites. Only after they've eliminated those two things will they be able to actually state that they've discovered organic compounds on Mars, which would be a big deal, but it's way too early to say whether they've actually managed to make that discovery on this mission. There have been some really interesting science after the press briefing. I saw a briefing about how the chemical analyses made with the ChemCam instrument, this is the instrument that has a laser on the head of the rover, has actually seen the rock and soil composition change as they've traversed the Martian landscape, getting up to the Glenelg site where they are now. But really, what I've learned here is that the science is really yet to come. The scientists really haven't had a chance to start doing science yet. All of the targets that they've picked so far have been picked because they would probably be pretty typical and unsurprising. And lo and behold, they've been pretty typical and unsurprising compositions of Martian rocks and soils. With a couple of exceptions, they have observed feldspar in rocks, which is a little bit strange. They do think that those chlorine-containing compounds probably came from perchlorates, which is something that actually was observed on the Phoenix mission to the North Pole of Mars, but it's still quite exciting to find them at this particular location. But really, the great science is yet to come. The scientists have not yet had a chance to bite into the rocks. They're going to be going with their drill pretty soon to some interesting rocks at Glenelg. Hopefully they'll get that first drilling done before Christmas time, and then after the new year begins, we'll finally start driving the rover toward the mountain and toward the rocks that we really came here to investigate. So stay tuned. The science from Curiosity is going to get much more interesting as we go through the mission. This is Emily Lakdawalla for the Planetary Society, reporting from San Francisco at the American Geophysical Union meeting. Thanks for listening.